What's going on, YouTube? It is Blacktop here. Haven't brought you a video in a long time. I'm so sorry about that, but yeah, I've just been busy with school. I'm a college student, if you didn't know that, and yeah, just had a lot of stuff going on. Didn't really have much incentive to make videos, but now that I have a little bit of free time, I'm gonna start making some more again. Hopefully I'll do that consistently as well. But anyway, this video is about the November 2018 ban list, and it's my wish list, I guess I should say that. And it might be a little soon. It's October 24th right now, the date of recording this video, and well, the ban list isn't supposed to happen until November 20th. We can see that right here. As per the Konami's TCG webpage, it's not supposed to arrive before November 20th. So that date and after, it can come. Probably there's not going to be an emergency ban list. I mean, it's only a month away. I didn't bother to look up what like major events, if any, are going to happen between now and then. I think YCS London is this weekend. We'll just have to see how that event turns out. But part of the ban list wish list that I bring to you today has to do with the results of YCS Niagara. So they might be a little what's the right word? A little too soon, I guess. A little not so calculated. A little more of a gut feeling of what I would like. Now, please keep in mind, Konami is probably not going to do nearly as much stuff as I did. I did a lot of stuff on this ban list. Like, this is a huge ban list. This is about the size of like two and a half ban lists, I would say. So let's get into it. So first of all, what would I semi-limit? Well, first of all, we're going to start with Sky Striker, Mobilize, Engage. Now, if you look at the results from YCS Niagara, which I will go over at the end of this video and sort of give you a reason of how I feel about Yu-Gi-Oh right now, you will see that there were a decent share of Sky Striker decks. I think there were 4, I want to say, off the top of my head. I don't exactly remember, but I think there were about 4 Sky Striker decks that got top 32 at that event. Clearly, they're still powerful, but I really like Sky Strikers as a deck. They're not like OTKing. They're just like they're a grindy type of deck that can, utilize card advantage very, very well, especially with one of the best search cards in the game, Sky Striker, Mobilize, Engage. That's why I have it semi-limited here to reduce the consistency of that deck. Next, Armageddon Knight. And I guess I should reveal the next one too, Dark Grepher. These two kind of go hand in hand for the Dark Warrior deck. I mean, Armageddon Knight is a one-card OTK or a one-card extra link OTK type thing. That's terrible. Like that is an absolutely terrible thing. And I suppose it's not Armageddon Knight and Dark Grepher's fault. I mean, like they were created long before the link summoning mechanic, but in a way to reduce that sort of thing, I want these two semi-limited to reduce the consistency of the Dark Warrior, Goki, Hero, whatever you want to call that deck. Next, Interrupted Kaiju Slumber. I want this back to 2. I think with all like the big boards people are making nowadays, with no regard to like what their opponent does, I think this would be a great card to sort of counteract that. Especially for going second decks. I mean, going second right now is like terrible, and we can kind of see that after the results of after we get to the results of YCS Niagara. So that's that. And the last one, Zodiac Rapier. This is a bit of a surprise. I wasn't really playing competitively in Zodiac format, but Zodiac Rapier going to 2 wouldn't really hurt that much, I don't think. Especially with what we have going on now. It's not going to do much, especially considering what I have later on in this video. I just think like they're not powerful enough to compete with the meta right now. Like bringing them back would not make much of a difference, I wouldn't think. But that's it for my semi-limited picks. Off to limited here. First off, we have Thunder Dragon Colossus. I absolutely hate this card. It's just a dumb card. It's way too easy to summon. It's a mistake on legs. You go first, you play this. Your opponent hardly has an out to it, especially if you can make more than one. And it has built-in protection as well. It's got a big body. 2600 is nothing to laugh at. I don't know. It's Thunder Dragons as a whole is just a degenerate deck. I feel like. I mean, it's kind of obvious if you think about it. And you'll see in the YCS Niagara results that it was very well represented. Number 2 is Isolde, Two Tails of Noble Knights. This card is dumb. I was gonna make another video about like the other problem with the Link Vrains pack. So not only did we not get in the TCG, but the problem with the cards themselves. And this card is it's too broken. I mean, yeah, it requires 2 warrior monsters, but that's too much. The same problem holds true with Heavy Metal Foes Electromite and what's the other one? Crystron Needle Fiber. It's too much. So yeah, that card needs to be banned. It results in too many what do they call it? U-boards, U-links, and FTKs and things like that with the warrior deck, Gokis, Dark Warrior, Hero, whatever you want to call it. Next, El Shaddai Construct. I want this thing off the list because, you know, if links are running rampant and creating U-boards and things like that, Construct is the way to deal with problematic monsters. That's just the way to go for there. I don't know. I think the OCG actually brought this back in their most recently banned list, or they had it back for a while. I'm not sure, but I'm pretty sure they do have this right now. Nightmare Goblin, I want it back to 1, and you'll see why later on in this video when I get to the forbidden section. Hint, hint. It's not that powerful of a card. It got hit because of the sins Firewall committed. It's paying for Firewall sins essentially. That's why I want it back to 1. Zodiac Broadbull and Zodiac Trident, of course, make Zodiac great again. I think, like, I'll go over my philosophy for this after the video, but you'll kind of see after I tell you my philosophy for the ban list. Spellbook of Judgment also coming back. I don't know. I just want to shake things up a little bit. And speaking of that, one Dragon Ruler monster, again shaking things up just to see. I mean, the OCG in their most recent ban list also released, I think, the Wind Dragon Ruler. I'm not sure. I think that's the right one. Yeah, the Wind one, whatever it's called. So it's possible. It's very possible. And then finally, Anti-Spell Fragrance, Rivalry of Warlords, and Gozen Match. These 3 cards, Floodgates, everybody hates these unless you play them, I guess. Unless you're like a true Draco player or an Altergeist player, you hate these things. They're not good for the game. Like Colossus is a Floodgate. These are Floodgates. They're not good for the game. So at 1, I think that's pretty fair. Maybe even at 2, but definitely at 1 is fair, I would say. And for Forbidden, of course, Firewall Dragon. So many cards have paid the price for what Firewall can do, like A Assault Core, Nightmare Goblin, some other cards too that have just contributed to the degeneracy that is primarily caused by Firewall. But Konami can't kill this card. Why? I don't know. Some people say it has plot armor. I couldn't tell you. Firewall Dragon has to go. It's just a dumb card. They could errata this card eventually, but I don't like erratas particularly, so banning it is probably the way to go here. Next, Morphing Jar and Card Destruction. These 2 cards never should have came off the list. They're way too powerful to like reset the hand. Getting stuff in the graveyard like that is just way too good. It should never have come off the list. I'm sorry. If you're a Danger player, a Dark World player, some discard graveyard deck, I'm sorry, but these 2 never should have came off the list. And finally, Unlimited. I just have 2 of them. A Assault Core, of course, paid for Firewall Sins, and Cosmo Dark Destroyer. This thing has been, receiving the limited, semi-limited, and then eventually unlimited treatment. Cosmos, we haven't seen them do anything even after this card got semi-limited, or semi-limited. So I mean, there's no reason to not have it back at 3, I guess. But that's really all that for the ban list. Now we're going to look at Wise Niagara, and this will sort of give some sort of justification for the ban list. I guess also I should preface this by saying the only sets that are going to come out between here or right now and when the ban list should drop are going to be like the Hidden Summoners. I think that's what it's called. It's like one of those side sets, I guess you could say. And I think that's it. I don't think Savage Strike comes out. I think that's like the major one. And the Zombie Horde structure deck, whatever that's going to be called when it comes here, that's going to come out. I don't think those things are going to shake up the meta or cause too much degeneracy or anything like that. So, it's just whatever. But anyway, here's the Niagara results. So Thunder Dragon took 9 out of the top 32 spots. Clearly an excellent deck. It sucks to play against. Like you can't hardly do anything against it. Like there's no way to out it, especially if your opponent makes like 2 or more Thunder Dragon fusion monsters. It's way too good. Like it's broken good. Like tier 1, possibly tier 0. Well, actually not really tier 0 because of its low relatively low. Only 9 out of 32, but not quite tier 0. The Goki deck, like Dark Warrior, whatever you want to call this deck, received 8 out of the top 32 spots. It's still powerful. That, like I said, Firewall and Isolde need to get banned. Or Isolde needs to be limited at least, but Firewall needs to get banned. Sky Striker, how much is that? It's what? 4 out of the top 32. Yeah, 4 out of the top 32. It's just getting bodied by the better decks right now. And I think hitting Engage to 2 will, like I wanted to in the ban list wishlist part of this video. I think that'll fix the Sky Striker problem. Although I think Sky Striker is like a healthy deck for the meta. It's a healthy meta deck. Like it's good. It's hard to beat, but like it sort of harkens back to like what Yu-Gi-Oh used to be about, like the sort of grind game, the sort of not going through half your deck in the first turn, even though Sky Striker technically can do that, but like not just floodgating your opponent. I mean, Sky Striker can play classically, if you understand what I'm saying. Anyway, Danger variance took 18.8%, which is about 6 out of 32 of the top spots, and yeah, I think I don't know. Like Danger's a good engine, and you can make some really good decks with it. But I think some of the Danger decks that were in the top 32, I think some of them might have been the FTK decks. I know 3 FTK decks went to the top 32, and 2 went to the top 8. That's terrible. FTK decks should not exist in this game, but they do. Anyway, Altergeist accounted for 6.3%. That's 2 out of 32. Not much to say there. They're a good deck, a good tier 2 deck probably. Pendulum 3.1, that's 1 out of 32, and 1 Trickstar Mech Knight and 1 Paleozoic Frog out of 32. Those 3 decks are fairly good. Same with Altergeist, fairly good decks, good competitive decks. Really interesting though, like that those decks actually made it in the top 32. When you see that we have Thunder Dragon and Danger and Sky Striker and Goki, those things, it's just interesting, very interesting. I think, I don't know, but anyway, excuse me. The sort of justification I give for the ban list, sort of like my philosophy behind it is, like floodgates have to go, or at least severely limit them. Like anti-spell goes in rivalry, you gotta get rid of those. You gotta get rid of Thunder Dragon too, or Thunder Dragon Colossus, because it's a floodgate. I mean, it's an asinine card. Like it never should have been designed the way it was. Firewall shouldn't have been designed the way it was because it contributes to U-links and degenerate combos like that. Like I said, ASL Core, Nightmare Goblin have paid for Firewall sins. It's not fair for those cards. ABC, like if you think about it, like if Thunder Dragon was banned before this YCS Niagara, and ABCs were like had 3A, like you probably would have seen them, maybe at least one in the top 32. Definitely more people would have been playing it. But it's just dumb. Some people will say, well, Cannon Soldier needs to get hit too, but no, I think Firewall's the root of the evil here. It's the main cause for all these problems. That's one of the things I don't like about Yu-Gi-Oh right now. There's too many FTKs. You got the U-Link going on. It's just dumb. I mean, I could go into all sorts of other things. What's wrong with Yu-Gi-Oh right now? I mean, Thunder Dragon deck, which is clearly the best deck. I imagine going forward, we'll probably see in London at least that Thunder Dragons are going to take up. My guess would be anywhere from 30 to 50% of the top cut spots. That's my guess. Probably maybe even more. But the problem with Thunder Dragons is that like it's a great deck, but it's really expensive. It's like I know like pre-sales were probably around 600 or a little bit over that for pre-sale like cores for the deck, but now they're around a little over 400 for the cores. And that doesn't include all the other cards you're going to need to. It's dumb. The pricing is just through the roof. Like players like me, poor college students like me, can't afford to play good decks, so I have to settle for a rogue going second deck. And that's another thing too. Going second sucks right now. I mean, yeah, we did see one Trickstar Mech Knight player. Mech Knights are typically a going second, but I guess they can go first with Trickstar. I guess that's what you kind of want to do. But like literally all these decks like prefer to go first. I think of the top 32. I don't know about the Danger variants per se, but I guess the FTK decks would not want to go first, but like they could make these really strong boards. Thunder Dragon likes to go first, obviously. Sky Striker. It's just not a good place right now. I just want Yu-Gi-Oh to go back to the place where going second or going first, like it doesn't really matter. Like you have going second decks that match the power of going first decks. I think that's the problem, right? But you might disagree with me, you might not. Let me know down below in the comments. If you liked the video, please leave a like and give me a subscribe if you would love to see more of this content. Like I said, I'm going to try to produce it more regularly now that I have a little bit more free time in my schedule. I had a half a semester class, and now that that's over, I might have a little bit more free time to make some content. Who knows? Anyway, this is going to be Blacktop YGO signing off. Thank you so much for watching.